But he's worked through the bridle pretty hard as well. Flying Roar goes up second now, trying to put pressure on it. He had to dig him up now to stay with Scales of Justice, who was floating along. Star Exhibit down on the rail, followed then by Punamu. Didn't like Kiora Kutu back there, well back in fact around the corner. Gee, Scales of Justice, he wobbled away, or did he get there by design? But he finished up about 5 away from the fence. Star Exhibit's got up on his inside. Punamu getting up on the rail. Star Exhibit and Scales of Justice stride for stride. Harvey went for the whip. Scales of Justice, Star Exhibit. They went to the line. Scales of Justice did just a bit too well. Scales of Justice beat Star Exhibit Punamu. 3 or 4 lengths behind them, Paseo del Prado. And then Kiora Kutu, well, he was running on at the end of the 1600 first up. Followed then by Shintamani. Further back then Flying Roar, whose run was short-lived to the corner. And the roughie has run last, Confusing.
Certainly didn't he, Darren, there, as you said, rolling off the fence. But Lindsay, I just asked you then if that was part of the plan, and you said that Paul Harvey had told you that that's where you wanted to be.
Yeah, well, Paul said that he thought that the better part of the track up the straight was 3 or 4 off. So, he's his own boss. So, yeah, it worked off. I was just a bit worried when Willie and the other one kicked up on the fence, but he's correct again. What
goes through your mind as a trainer when you know that the jockey says it, but then as you said, you look at it live and these other two are just making ground nicely on the inside and you're thinking, hang on a second.
Yeah, well, I've never sacked him and I never will, but at 98% of the time he gets it right, so I just leave it be.
Nice to be on the right side of a close finish. This campaign obviously finishing second at Bunbury, but then last start in front before the post, in front after the post. Couldn't get the nose down at the time it counted, but a nice fighting effort.
Yeah, I thought I'd be a bit further along the journey than this, but anyway, I don't think he's really ready for the big time yet. He's got to sort of race a little bit better. He keeps getting on the bit, so yeah, I don't know where he'll go. He might go to the Peters and see what happens, but I think he's a year away.
Okay, so just keep trying your luck in those type of races for now and get that racing experience behind him.
Yeah, he'll go to the Peters, and if it's God's will, then he wins, so be it.
Just quickly as well, in races like today, and Paul Harvey's done it twice. You mentioned you never sack him in his own boss, and for good reason as well, because we've seen that we thought it'd be hard to lead today, but he's just the master of slowing them up, getting the race run at his tempo, making sure that his horse is comfortable, and then kicking at the top of the straight and having enough in reserve.
Yeah, well, he rides a bit of work at home, so he knows what it's like when you drive him up that hill. So he knows there's a bit there when you do ask. So, yeah, it's the way he rides, and he's pretty good at it.
It's been a good week for yourself, mate. Congratulations.
Thanks very much.
Well, grand winning jockey now, Paul Harvey. Paul, Lindsay told us there that was part of the plan to roll off the fence. So tell us your reasons why after your first early runs.
Look, I've just had a bit of a look at the track, and I reckon that sort of got that ryegrass to 3 off, and I just think they get a bit of footing and they're a bit more on top of the ground, probably 4 off and further. So, I just picked my line, had a look at the track, pick my line and ride accordingly.
It's a gutsy move to do, to analyse that and then pull it off. And as Lindsay said, they were a little bit nervous through the runs when they see Star Exhibit and Punamu coming out. What was in your mind?
Look, I didn't know. The horse had settled well, and I like to get him rolling into the bend. So I did that. I just let him roll sort of halfway around the turn and sort of come out to a pad where I thought was a bit better, and that's it,
That win there really reminded me of your ride on Infatuated on the 15th of October, where, again, conditions probably didn't suit being out in front, but that's what your horse found it, and you were just able to slow them up nicely and have enough in the tank late.
Yeah, look, it just seemed out the gates, no one really wanted to push forward, so, we didn't have to work hard to be there, so, we just took the job up and got it done.
Early double for yourself, mate. Well done.
Yeah, cheers.
There's Paul Harvey, as we said, riding 2 winners from the first 3 races.